Okay. Wonderful. Welcome everybody. So I've picked up Siege again. This is a bad thing. Alright, so I have decided that in my infinite wisdom, today is going to be the day that we are going to make a goddamn tier list. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be awesome. Just trust me on this one, alright? Oh shit. Hold on. Let me move that. Okay. That should be better. Okay. So, we are going to be taking every single gun in Rainbow Six Siege, every single one of them, and we are going to be rating them on a goddamn amazing tier list, which is going to be right here. It's wonderful. Okay, so there is every single gun in this godforsaken game. Oh, mamma mia. I may have spent a little bit of an unreasonable amount of time making this tier list. Yeah. So, what we're going to be doing, yes, I'm going to be, and I shit you not, going into Rainbow Six Siege, the video game. We're going to be rating every gun. Because my opinions on guns are objectively correct and cannot be questioned. Ever. Okay? Okay. Wonderful. So... Alright, so where are we starting? We are starting with... You know what? I'm just going to go in order of how they appear here. I believe it sorts these in alphabetical order, I think. Although, just due to how I did the file names for all of these, some of them are going to be out of order. Some of them I used the real names for the guns, some of them I used the in-game names for the guns, and then there are also specific cases, such as, if I could find it, these two here, the AR-1550 and the Uzi K50. I just named those the funny AR and the funny Uzi, because 50 cal is funny, I guess. I don't fucking know. That would be this one. Oh, this one. God damn it. Why is it off? Oh, I'm actually... Wait, oh, fuck, I'm actually moving it around. Whoopsie! Nah, whatever. These two here, these two little goobers here, those are going to be the ones that I'm going to be... that are out of order. But all the other ones are going to be fine. So, yes, you are going to join me tonight, and we are going to have a great goddamn time ranking all of these guns, and I will give you knowledge. I will give you knowledge of all of these incredible weapons. So, first gun we are going to start with is the 1911 TAC Ops, which is exclusive to... If I can pop this back up. Where the fuck is he? Mr. Maverick over here. Mine's green. Because, why the hell not? Here is the 1911 TAC Ops. It is a pretty fresh renovation of the classic 1911 pistol. Pretty sick, pretty sexy. I like it. It has a custom ergonomic grip on it and a new slide. Although there is something with this gun that bothers me immensely, and that is the sights. So for some reason, during the development of this game, Ubisoft decided that, you know what, why don't we just put night sights on literally every single weapon in this game? Every single one of them, even if we've already modeled normal sights on it. So as you can see, if you like, you kind of like squint and, you know what? Here, let me bring you in for this. Let me get that a little closer. All right, so you see that right there? You see that? You see those sights right there? You know what? No, you're not close enough. You gotta take a closer goddamn look. Not my stream overlay, please. Thank you. Where are we? Oh god, shitty streamer things. Oh. Fucking whatever. Oh shit. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. Hold on. We're gonna reset this. We're gonna reset this. Okay. All right. You need a close look at this because it is very, very difficult. Ah, there we go. All right. Perfect. All right. So you see right here, how it's got the. Hold on. I need my mousey on screen. Okay, so you see right here and right here, these two little white dots. These are our main problem. Because this could have looked very, very nice if they didn't bother trying to, for some reason, just slap night sights on here. But as you can see, they've got two little green dots on top of them, which are not centered. So that kind of reduces points for me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We've also got, I don't know, pretty grody paint job on this thing. I don't know what they were trying to do with this specifically. Yeah, it's like it's in like a midlife crisis between FDE and some sort of like sand camo, I guess. Overall, the design of the weapon is quite nice. I think the especially the font that 45 Auto is displayed in right here is quite nice. I do like that. So it's not completely horrible. It's certainly not the worst video game 1911 I've seen. However, we must consider where it will go on our tier list of yore. And frankly, I would say, as far as siege guns go, it's fairly harmless. It's got its like little quirks here and there, but it's nothing huge. So I'm gonna start this out, and I'm gonna give it like a solid, like a C tier. It's going in C because it's not exactly faithful to 1911 designs, but at the same time, it's not awful. We will get to some of those because, yeah, those certainly they are in here. There are some pretty bad ones in here. All right, so our next weapon is the 5.56 XI, which is a weapon that I did not know much about before getting into this game. There are two operators that have it, those being Osa here and Thermite. If I'm correct, I believe this is a SIG design. The SIG 516 specifically, I think. I am not very confident on that because, yeah, I don't really have much of an excuse. But if we take a closer look at this, if we go into weapon skins, where are you, 556XI? There you are. Okay, here is our good friend, the 556XI. You can tell it is a SIG because of the stock that it has here. Pretty much all SIG guns share this. You'll see it on the 556XI. It is also on the 552 Commando. You'll notice a lot of similarities between these two. It's because they're pretty much in the same line. This one just has a different forend, and for whatever reason, the charging handle is on the left side of this one, which I don't fully understand, but fuck it, we'll roll with it. It's a fairly standard 5.56 assault rifle. It doesn't look very conventional, though. The sudden realization that my fat fucking head was sitting in front of it the whole time. God damn. Okay. This reminds me of why we were using locker view for this. Operator view for this. Okay, so we're going to go over to OSA, and we're going to look at this gun. Okay. So, 5.56XI. It is a whole lot of Fonky in Siege, especially. I have seen what this gun should look like, and this arrangement is not correct, as far as I can tell. Actually, is it? No, this is correct. Okay, never mind. Alright, I must be tweaking, because for a second I thought this whole section up here was like a second ejection port, kind of like, I don't know, kind of reminds me of like how, like, Call of Duty Ghosts, they had like the L115 with the ejection port on both sides. Or I guess more recently, people noticed that the shotgun on Buckshot Roulette has that issue with the ejection ports on both sides, which is strange. But no, this one seems fine. It just has the charging handle on this side, and then it's just in a little slot there. All right. Usually on the 5.52 series, they have it on the right side, right around here. So you can kind of like AK reload it, kind of, but this one doesn't really like you doing that. It doesn't have the paddle mag release like the other 5.52 variants. On the whole, I'm not a huge fan of this design. Like, it's fine. I guess it's okay as far as ARs go, but I'm not really a fan of it. It's realistic enough, I suppose, so it won't be getting too low of a tier. I think it'll sit alongside... I am thinking that this one will sit alongside the Tech Ops in C tier. You know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna bump it up to B tier. We'll give it a B. Yeah, B tier seems fair. It's not offensive. It's not ridiculous. We will be getting there. Don't you worry. We will get to something bad. In fact, we have a pretty bad one. We have two pretty bad ones coming up. Okay, wonderful. Alright, so our next weapon on the block is the 6P41 light machine gun. It is owned by Finka and Fuse, as far as I can tell, I think. Actually, I can just check. I probably should have beforehand. Womp womp. Light machine guns. Finka and Fuse? Yes. Okay. Our next weapon, the 6P41 light machine gun. It is one of the guns of all time. It truly is. I don't know why I'm not running this JMac break on it, because that's pretty sick. Let's view this full screen. So here is the 6P41. That is the GRAU designation for a bullpup conversion of the PKM light machine gun. I mean, it's not even really a light machine gun. This thing is pretty fucking chonky. It fires 7.62 by 54R, which is the same round that the Mosin Nagant fires. So that's pretty fucking scary. I guess it was some sort of an attempt to make it more ergonomic, I guess. It has this funky little carry handle, which is nice. It doesn't interfere with the weapon. That is good. It preserves that long barrel length, which is, you know, sets out what bullpups are supposed to do. I don't know if this handguard is correct. I don't believe it is. But at the same time, it's not, like, intrusive enough to where I'd really dock points for it. I'd say it stylistically fits in pretty well. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a real handguard, or is the actual handguard for this design. My only real criticism is the butt pad here, I believe is modeled after the AK's grenade launcher butt pad, I believe. So intended for use with AKs with grenade launchers attached to it, which, I mean, I guess makes sense, because it's a Russian weapon, and they like to reuse things. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense to put it there, but, you know, it could have been something a bit nicer. But on the whole, it's not bad. It is a pretty good representation of it. If you wanted a better representation of this, I mean, I would say that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has you covered, but for some reason, they believe that it should be a aftermarket part. We'll leave it at that. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. So, for being quite faithful and, you know, fairly nice considering its origins, I am going to put this high B tier. It is definitely better than the 5.56 XI. Yeah, that's I don't really have much more to say about that. It's pretty good. Moving on to the next weapon. Our next weapon here belongs to a Jaeger. That would be the M870. Personally, I am not a huge fan of this setup for the 870. It says 870 compact on the little tube here, which it is. I don't think there's any Remington 870s that say that anywhere on the gun. Yeah, I am not a huge fan of this. It has, like, this asinine, like, buffer tube pistol grip setup. It does have I think this is the speed feed pump. which is nice. But then it's also got this, like, wonky, like, half, like it looks, this is a real heat shield that you can get for the 870, but I don't believe it exists in this length, which implies that it was cut off here, which, you know what, looking at it, it kind of looks like it was, sort of. I don't really like that, I'm gonna be honest with you. And on top of that, having the pistol laser on the top rail is questionable. I know it is a legendary siege weapon by all regards. You know, before he was smitten from the heavens, running into the building as a squad of 5 recruits wielding this goddamn thing was hilarious, and it will never not be hilarious. However, that does not change the fact that this weird shorty 870 does... It just don't vibe with me. I don't like it. It doesn't need a buffer tube. Yeah, it has an M4SS stock on there. I don't think it needs that. It has this, like, funky ergo grip on it. I don't even know what P13 could even begin to stand for. I mean, I guess marking these all go together, but, like, why would you do that? If you wanted an 870 as a shorty, you can do that in much better ways, and we will see that coming up. Which is why the 870, in this configuration, will be getting a D tier from me. It's not quite F tier, but it's borderlining it pretty hard. So, our next weapon, I have some choice words about this one. Our next weapon belongs to a couple different operators, but most notably to Miss Alibi here. I use Alibi quite a lot, and I do use the AA-12 quite a lot. I know it is technically better to use the MX-4 Storm, which we will get to, but there is just something supremely satisfying about, you know, just kind of popping somebody across the map with this thing, which is also my main issue with it. When this weapon released, it was a very faithful creation to the original design for the AA-12. Fully automatic. Uses buckshot, like you should with an AA-12. The whole point of it, the whole point of this weapon, was that you would use it to just tear down walls at the start of the prep phase, and it was the best in class at it. And it was just a hilarious meme cannon for the entirety of the time that it was in that state. It wasn't too broken. Like, as far as siege guns are concerned, it was in its own little niche that I don't feel should have been changed. Then they fucking butchered it. It now fires slug rounds, making it basically just a glorified DMR. This drum mag, which should only fit 20 rounds in it, can fit 30, which is not right. It also doesn't look like an AA-12 drum. Usually they are more smooth than this, and it's also clear on the back here, so you can see how many shells you have. I'm sure drum mags like this exist, but this, like, if you hold it at an angle like this, it almost kind of looks like the original, like, 8-round box mags that were designed for the AA-12. which, you know, if they wanted to nerf the AA-12 a little bit, I probably would have suggested, yeah, just load it with an 8-round box mag and don't change it into whatever the fuck this is. For whatever reason, it also has... Oh. Whoopsie. Sorry about that. Oh, my camera's kind of freaking out. Woo! Okay, we're back. Wonderful. So, the main thing that kind of pisses me off about this gun is the whole top of it. My god. As far as I'm aware, this sort of arrangement does not exist for the AA-12. It says mil-spec 1913 rail scope mount on the top here, which, you know, doesn't... I mean, I guess it is, but these don't really look like Picatinny rails. The grooves on these are so, like, cavernously deep. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. And then it also, like, splits into these, like, Battlefield 2042-esque, like, single groove segments towards the front, which doesn't make any sense. And then for some reason, they also slapped an M14 EBR lower handguard on here for some godforsaken reason. Yeah, no, it's not good. It's quite bad, all things considered, actually. I am not a fan. It is a fun gun to use, but my god, is it ugly as fuck. Don't even get me started on what they did to the charging handle. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Actually, no, I need to demonstrate this. We're going to load into the shooting range real quick. I'm going to need you to witness this reload animation real quick. So,
let's get to work.
Whatever reason, we just do that. Alright, watch this. Did you notice anything funky about that animation? You know, maybe the fact that Alibi just kind of puts her hand where the charging handle, like, should be, but doesn't actually grab it, just kind of has her hand there, and it just kind of moves by itself. Here, let me run that back so you can take another look at it. Just look real close at that charging handle. Just, yeah, it's kind of hidden in a way that it's like, you know, you almost can't tell, but if you're looking for it, it is very noticeable, and it's real janky. Yeah, AA-12s were not meant to be like this. I am sure whoever made the design for the AA-12 is very sad about this, and out of respect, I am going to give it an F. Okay. That said, next we're going to go into something a little more positive. We're going to go back to attackers. We have a couple operators who use this weapon, but Fuse is the first one who comes to mind for me. So, behold, the AK-12. This one is the original prototype version of it, which is the best version of it. I am actually a very big fan of this design. It actually takes the AK platform in a forward direction that makes sense. Like, you'd think that over the course of however many, like, decades the AK platform has been faithfully serving its motherland for, you know, you'd think that they would make some serious developments, and I was of the opinion that this was it. this is where AKs should be going. More rails, more ergonomic features. It's just a great design overall. It has ambidextrous charging handles, which are not modeled on this one for some reason. It has a button mag release here. It also has a paddle mag release under that. It has an adjustable stock. It has a more, like, easily accessible fire selector on the side here. It does support different AK front ends, such as this one. It supports muzzle devices for AKs. It's just, it is what an AK should be, in my opinion. I think the main reason that this wasn't taken into more large-scale production was just because of how much more complicated it is than a traditional AK, which I understand. I get it. You know, you want to have a more, I guess, like it's the same reason that the AN-94 wasn't adopted. It's just too complicated, and it's too expensive. But, I don't know, I feel like this would have been a very nice, like, side grade sort of thing for the AK platform. It is much better than the current iteration of AK-12s that are being produced. This one is much better. So, I'm going to say that out of respect for how goddamn goated this version of the AK-12 is, I'm going to give that a solid A tier. I'm not going to give it an S because it isn't perfect, obviously. Of note, not having the ambidextrous charging handles, which it's kind of known for. But, you know, all things considered, pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. We're going with that. Alright. So, our next gun is another AK. This one belonging to Ayana and Nomad. Or no, not Ayana. Shit, who else had it? Oh, well, I guess, yeah, Damos has it now. So, in the spirit of the season, I guess we'll look at Damos' version of it. Okay, so here is the AK-74M. I believe that designation might be correct, question mark? Probably not, because I am not too into AKs, if I'm going to keep it real with you. There's just so many fucking different variations of them, and it's a lot to keep in. Anyways, point is, here, it's the AK-74. It's one of them. Yeah, it sure is. This one in particular is dressed up to be quite fancy. In particular, it has a set of Magpul MOE AK furniture, which is very nice. Oh, actually. Alright, so looking at this a little bit closer, I am noticing a marking on this weapon. Very specifically, the one here that says WASR 10. Or I think that's it. Yes. WASR 10. This is actually, if it is an authentic WASR 10, this should be a semi-auto civilian version of a AK-74. So I think for that alone, yeah, that might have to dock at some points, actually. The trigger on this is also weirdly chonky. I don't think it's supposed to be that chonky. I also don't really understand why we're going with cantilever mounts on this. You know, it's got M-lock on it. I don't know why you would use two very short cantilever Picatinny mounts with... Is that even Picatinny? God, those are like the narrowest slots I've ever seen in a Picatinny. No, that isn't even... What the fuck is that? Okay, so we've just got a completely fictional rail here, I guess. That's cool, I guess. For some reason, it's also got this weird mount for the optics that replaces the AK's rear sight block with, like, this thing that just kind of protrudes backwards? I guess. God, that's weird. They also completely removed the front sight block. Wait, if you remove the... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funky. Wait a minute. Does that... Oh. Okay, actually, that's really not good. Oh, dear. Okay, so... This little tube at the bottom here isn't connecting into the block over here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Okay. This is starting to get bad. Alright, maybe I don't like this gun that much. Oh dear. I mean, at a glance, it's pretty solid, but once you actually start looking at it, it's just, oh dear. Alright. I suppose I should also go on another little tangent real quick. Specifically about optics in this game. For whatever reason, they always decide to put Picatinny mounts on top of Picatinny rails instead of just, like, using a riser. They also... I think these are, like, Purse 3 lasers, I think. I don't know why every single gun is using a Russian laser. I'll bitch about the attachments some other time. But, yeah, I have been, my eyes have been quite offended by the AK-74 upon this day. It is going into... Okay, no, it's not as bad as the 870. I'm gonna put it below the TAC Ops and C tier. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, our next weapon. I should have just started with Nomad, actually. Because this is her sidearm. This is the AMC Automag 44. This is the precursor to the AMT Automag series. This one has been outfitted with a pretty nice scope on there, which I suppose would be used on a weapon like this. All things considered, this is a very, very faithful recreation of the sidearm. It's chambered in 44 Magnum and is, well, if I had to guess, mostly used for hunting and target shooting. Yeah, it's really, like, classic sci-fi looking. Like, it looks like something that you'd see in the hands of, like, a... I don't know, like an 80s, like, Space Ranger type guy, you know? I like the looks of this thing. It's quite good. I don't see any glaring issues with it, if I'm going to be honest. It's it's very good, all things considered. I'm gonna say bravo Siege Team for this one. That's getting a very high A tier from me. Alright. Our next gun belongs to Maestro on defense. So here is the Alda 556. More colloquially... Jesus fuck. More colloquially known as the Amelie light machine gun. It's basically the Zoomer MG42. It's alright, but in contrast with an actual Amelie, it's a little wonky. Okay. So this rail on the back here with the optic on it, I don't know if that's real. It also has some funky Picatinny mounting on it, which no. Also the front here is also kind of funky. This side-mounted Colt A2 grip is... I mean, I guess you could do it. There are slots here, but these aren't M-lock slots. These are not M-lock slots. You're not supposed to shove things in them. These are supposed to help with cooling. Yeah, you're not really supposed to be putting things there. I think you might be able to shove something down here, maybe. But I don't think you should be doing this. You should be using the bipod for it if you really want to mount it somewhere. I don't know. The proportions on it are a little bit wonky. This handguard isn't entirely correct as far as I'm aware. I'm not a huge fan, if I'm gonna be honest. It's close, but it's just a little bit off in, like, every detail. Like this, the carry handle is a little bit wonky. It's also missing its front sight because I have an optic on here on this debatably real sight adapter, which is on top of the feed tray. Which I imagine this... I mean, it looks like it could interfere with reloading a little bit. I don't know. It's a little funky. It's a little funky, but we're going to we're gonna accept it for its quirks, but that isn't going to make me rate it any differently. This thing is going to go mid-C tier between the 45 TAC Ops and the 74. Okay. So, going back to Nomad for this next one. This is her ARX 200, which I believe is the correct designation for this weapon. I am going to put this out here. I do not like the Beretta ARX series of rifles. I think they are chonky and kind of fugly looking. I don't really like them. This one is the 7.62 by 51 NATO offshoot of the Beretta ARX 160 rifle. I don't really think that, as far as I'm aware, it's not a very popular platform. It hasn't really been adopted by... I don't even think it's been adopted by any militaries or anything like that. If I had to guess, it's probably mostly just on the civilian market, and that's about it, I guess. I don't really see any, like, security forces picking this thing up. I don't know. It's just kind of fugly, and it's chonky, and I think this gun needs to work out a little bit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It needs to pick up a gym membership and get on that grind set. I mean it's accurate to its I believe it's accurate to its, like, real life counterpart, but that still isn't going to stop me from giving it a high D tier above the 870. And I am not going to talk anymore about it because it's kind of stinky. Yeah, I don't know about this one. It's made by Beretta. It's not exactly very well known. They put it in Call of Duty, and I think that was the only time anyone cared about it. Alright, coming up next, we have the AUG A3. I will grab IQ's AUG A3. I would say it's a fairly good representation of an AUG A3. Some of the details are incorrect on it. It does have a good few AUG A1 parts on here. It's also missing a couple of the A3 parts. The whole gun has, like, this weird, like... Okay, so this is an issue for a lot of siege guns, actually. And it's especially noticeable when you use, like, these skins like this. They have this, like, weird, glossy sort of texture to them. It doesn't really work. It's fine on some guns, but on a lot of them, especially guns like the AUG that have, like, this heavily polymer furniture, it's... yeah, it's a little off-putting. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but I don't know. It's just a siege issue in general. But I would say overall, the AUG A3, or actually no. Wait, no, this is an A2. Wait, is she stupid? Oh my god. Okay, no, never mind. I'm stupid. This is an AUG A2, and for the most part, this is fine. Oh my god, I'm such a dumbass. Okay, so this is an AUG A2. For an AUG A2, this is fairly good. The glossy texture is still an issue, but, you know, we'll let it slide, I guess. Like with some of the skins, this is fixed, as we can see with, like, the Bartlett U skin. It looks fairly good. It has a very nice texture to it. So it's not helpless. It's pretty decent. As far as, like, as far as this AUG is concerned, it is in a pretty good spot. I am going to be very nice to this AUG. I am going to give it a high B tier between the SIG and the 6B41. So our next gun, God, who even has this gun? I think it's on defense? Who even has this one? I think Kaid has it? Yes. Oh. Okay, so this one is designated as an AUG A3. Which is, I guess, technically correct. I do dig the design of this one. I'm not a huge fan of these iron sights. They're very slim. I don't think they're correct for AUG sights. But on the whole, like the push button, like the crossbeam safety is well modeled. It has the correct AUG para sort of rails on it, although this one has the weird slotted. These are like really wide slots on this one. God, what is with Siege and having like weird rails? I didn't even notice that till now, but yeah, this game has some weird ass rails. It does have a, I believe this is an aftermarket charging handle. I believe I've seen this one before, so that's good. It looks like it's using the correct sort of magazines in here. It does have the 9mm adapter, and it does feature the shortened ejection port here. Well, sort of. They just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of like a little piece of sheet metal just kind of screwed on there. I think the actual AUG A3 Paraxis has a, I guess, more... one that isn't like this. It's a little more sturdy. But yes, this is a real variant of the AUG A3. This little sling thing here is nice. I do appreciate this. You could very easily clip this onto something and use this as a single point sling, which is very nice. I like this gun's design a lot. I'm going to give this a much higher rating than the A2, now that I think about it. You know what? This is actually going to go above the automag. No. Okay, it's gonna go between the AK-12 and the automag, but I really, really dig this design. As far as, I'm usually not a huge fan of pistol caliber converted rifles, but this one specifically, I really like what they did with the design. They made it look really unique, and honestly, I respect the hell out of it. They should add this gun on more operators, because I don't really play Kaid that much. I actually might, now that I've taken a little look at this, but I mean, at the same time, I don't really see myself using it when Kaid has this meme cannon available, which we will get to. Our next gun, this is another one of Alibi's guns. This is the Bailiff 410. This is a Taurus design. For some reason, the preview here is bugged, and the speed loader is connected to the cylinder, which, you know, just gonna ignore that. It has very nicely detailed rifling in there, which you might think, you know, why bother with a rifled barrel when it's this short and you're firing 410 shotgun shells out of it? There is a good reason for this. The Taurus Judge 410, or the Bailiff, or whatever the fuck they call this thing. I'm so sick of Taurus terminologies. Because it fires 410, you can also fire 45 long Colt out of it. You can't do this in game, unfortunately, but fuck, sorry. My throat doesn't like me yapping this much. As far as this game is concerned, this is a very good representation of this handgun. It's not a particularly good handgun because it's Taurus, but you know, it's aight. It's aight. I'm gonna give this like high B tier. Actually, yeah, high B tier above the AUG A2. Okay. So our next gun, this is an interesting one. So I didn't even know about this until like a couple minutes ago. Apparently they added the Bearing 9 here to Tachanka. I don't know why a Russian operator has a Japanese machine pistol, but fuck it, sure. Yeah, this thing is, I honestly don't really know that much about it. It's, I guess the one place that most people would know about this gun from, other than Siege, is I'm pretty sure that it was featured in the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And it was pretty heavily memed on. People would run it with a thermal scope, and it was like the highest recoil thing in that game, I think. I don't know, I didn't play much of Modern Warfare 3, admittedly. They also added it into Payday 2 as the Miyaka 10, I think? I don't know. I don't think I have it. But yeah, it's a machine pistol kind of in the vein of, I suppose, like the mini Uzi, or I guess probably, no, not quite the micro Uzi. This is probably mini Uzi. It has this neat little foregrip arrangement here. I believe you can get a stock for it. Well, no, you, the viewer, cannot. Good luck getting your hands on one of these in the States, Jesus. Yeah, I don't admittedly have that much info on this, but I like the gun's design. I think it's quite nice. I don't have any glaring complaints about it. I will put it above the AUG A2, right with the bailiff. So our next gun is the... Whoa, my god. Siege? Siege, oh my god. Okay, pardon that siege seizure there. I don't know why that happened. We're going to go over to Mr. Capital here. Here is the PRB 92, as it is called. This is a Beretta M9 of some sort of flavor. If I had to guess, an M9A1 variant, due to not having a railed lower body of the pistol, and also the shape of the trigger guard. It's very beat up. I don't know what this stripe is here for. They also just kind of like scribbled S on there for safe with like, I don't know, like a magic marker or some shit. This is a very old, beat up Beretta. If anyone in the audience has been deployed, I guarantee you, this is probably what some of your Berettas probably look like. You know, there aren't, I don't really have any glaring complaints about the Beretta 92. But at the same time, it is also super fucked up, and I don't understand a lot of the decisions regarding its design, so we're going to give it a... You know what? It's gonna go behind the AUG. It's gonna go behind the AUG. Okay. Our next gun is going to be a quite controversial one. Alright, so this one is in the hands of Zofia. And here it is. This is the Beryl M762. Okay, so I am probably going to catch a whole lot of flack for this, because, on the whole, I am aware that the Hera CQR furniture for most guns is perceived as quite cringe and stinky and no bueno. But just listen, hear me out, alright? Hear me out. I think on the Beryl M762, it actually works pretty fucking well. I like how this thing looks. It looks quite nice. And those are big words coming from me because I do not like AKs. Yes, I am an AK hater. Yeah, this is my one exception to that. One of two exceptions to the fuck AKs rule. Yeah, obviously, you know, the rails are kind of fucky, whatever. That's just a siege thing. But on the whole, this is a very, very appealing design for an AK variant. This is a Polish variant of an AK. It is very nice, all things concerned. It has I believe, a PDC Bastion dust cover on there. So it's got a railed dust cover. It's got a railed handguard. It's got this fucking ergonomic ass stock. It has these quite nice looking 7.62 mags. I actually kind of dig the design of these. Yeah, honestly, all things concerned, I mean, aside from missing, I think it is missing the little, like, I don't know if the barrel has that, but like that little piece at the bottom here, that little tube, I believe that might be missing. But on the whole, it is a very appealing design, and this is one of two exceptions to my fuck AK rules. So I am going to be giving this one a very high A tier. Okay, so, our next one's a fun one. So our next one belongs to our first Korean attackers and defenders, those being Vigil and Dekebi. I have two skins for this one that I primarily use, that being Landowner here, which, God, that two-tone is sexy. Yeah, I really, really like how this looks. But it's also quite nice on its own. This is a very, very custom over-under double barrel. It is a mashup of a Mossberg Maverick HB12, I think is the designation for it. And some other over-under double barrel. I don't remember the name. But I really, really like this thing. Its inclusion is just an absolute meme, and it owns it wholeheartedly. Yeah, it is an over-under double barrel shotgun with an ACOG scope slapped onto it. Thanks, Bikini Bodhi, for bullying the Siege devs into adding this. I was there. It was hilarious. Yeah, sniping people with slug rounds out of this thing is the most satisfying thing to ever be implemented into a video game. And I will not hear otherwise. The Boss G is hilarious, and I love it. Though its design is a little cooked in some regards. So you might notice the inclusion of not one, but 2 safeties on this thing. We have a trigger guard safety and a tang safety, like a Mossberg. Like a Mossberg 500 shotgun, which is strange. It also has, I think these are... Pyramus tactical advantage sights, I think. These sights are designed for pistols primarily, but they are quite iconic on this shotgun. Honestly, as much as I am like resisting the overwhelming urge to like just kind of say, the design's kind of funky, I don't like it, the absolute god tier meme status of this gun has made me love it so much over the years that I genuinely just don't give a shit. It is getting an S tier. I love this gun. I love the Boss G. It is so much fun. If you are an absolute meta slave using the M14 EBR, I feel so bad for you. Yes, the EBR is statistically better. Yes, it is more practical and easy to use. But you are fucking missing out on the absolute joy and overwhelming fucking, like, Looney Tunes level of fun of the fucking Boss G. It's so good. Alright, so getting on to another gun that I like quite a lot. This one belonging to Senor Jackal. We are going to preview this with the Kingslayer skin because... Gah. Yes, here is the C7E. This is a Canadian-produced version of the AR platform. This one in particular has been prettied up with a whole bunch of tactical goodness. We have a Magpul PRS stock on here. I believe this is a PRS stock. Am I losing my shit? Hold on. Yes, this is a PRS Gen 3. I am correct. Okay. So, Magpul PRS Gen 3 stock. It has a... I believe this is a... Yeah, I believe this is a 20-inch barrel. Yeah, it has this neat little handguard on it. It pretty faithfully follows, like, AR design doctrine. It has a... I believe that's a Raptor SD charging handle. Oh no. It's Raptor-esque. Alright, well, it's mirroring a Raptor charging handle of sorts. But on the whole, this is a very, very good tactical AR. Like, if you wanted to have, like, the spitting image of, like, very, very pricey, expensive tactical AR, this is the kind of thing that you would think of pretty much immediately, if I had to guess. Yeah, I like this one a lot. This one is... I am debating giving this thing an S tier. You know what? I'm gonna put it between the barrel and the AUG. You know what? I'm gonna put it above the barrel. But yeah, I'd say that's pretty solid. I'd say that's pretty good. What's our next gun? Our next gun is the C8 SFW on Buck. Okay, here is the C8 SFW. This is a much more bog standard sort of AR. Obviously, Buck runs an underbarrel M26 mass on this thing, which is pretty nice. Strangely, the C8 does not follow a lot of the C8's design philosophy. It uses the correct stock, which is nice. It uses a C8 stock. But the main thing that kind of puts me off about this gun's design is the fact that it doesn't use the C8 style like claw charging handle. It has like a little, I don't know, almost like a little blade thing that like it curves off and back, sort of. I don't know. It's weird. It uses a Knight's armament, short handguard. It has a 14.5-inch barrel, I believe. Railed gas block. Although I don't think... No, it does not have a gas tube modeled. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really liking this one as much, I'm gonna be honest. Even with the iconic shotgun on the bottom, it's just not all that in a bag of chips. If I'm gonna keep it real with you, I'm going to say that this one is going to be a. We're gonna give this a high C tier. High C tier. I also gotta start zooming this out. God damn. Okay, so ooh, what am I moving? There we go. Okay. Let me just... Whoop. Let me zoom this out a little bit so you guys can see the whole list. Whoop. Maybe a little more. Okay. Alright, so here is our tier list as of current. I'm going to take a quick little hydration break because it is important to hydrate. If you're watching, you should grab water right now, and you should hydrate with me because that's based, and we love hydration. So with a pop of the cap and a swig of the bottle. Hydration keeps me breathing till tomorrow. Mamma mia. We love that good old water. Okay. Oh, why is it? Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay. Fuck. What was our next gun? Our next gun is Cali's CSRX 300. This one's funky. So, this gun is completely fictional. That looks really scuffed without the grenade launcher. Hold on. Let me... Is it only gonna show it separately? Oh my god. Why? Okay, fine. Alright, so I guess we'll view them separately. Here is the CSRX 300. It should have a grenade launcher right here. But we don't use a grenade launcher for it. It fires it's called the LV Explosive Lance. It produces an explosion on both the front and back side of any wall. Either soft or reinforced. Which is quite nice. It takes inspiration from a lot of different weapon designs, but on the whole, this is a completely fictional design. It does not exist in real life. It's got like some tactical Remington 700 in there. I think I see a little bit of like Accuracy International in there, maybe. Maybe a little bit of like Blazer R93 if you really stretch, but I don't know. On the whole, it's a completely fictional design that I don't know. I'm a little conflicted about it. On one hand, it is a pretty badass sniper launcher combo thing. If they'd actually let me see it in its full glory, here, let me load into the range again. Yeah, so
You gotta try to see what works.
oh, what the fuck? Whoa. Okay, so it shows the CSRX without the grenade launcher in the range. That's weird. Okay. Alright, what if I... No? God, that is... What if I look at the... There we go. Alright, so we can see it a little bit better on the Elite skin. Alright. Yeah, you can definitely see a lot more of that, like... You can see more of that, like, Accuracy International sort of inspiration to it. It... You know, it's got that, like, FN grenade launcher style, you know, launcher at the bottom here. It's got a nice, like, borderline, like, Halo sniper scope. Because it's got, like, that wide field of view, which is really, really, really nice. The scope is nice. My only real complaint about it is the mounting system. While, you know, the fact that it's kind of, like, hard built into this like that is, like, it makes sense. It's a one-of-a-kind gun. Callie built it herself. You know, it makes sense, I guess, that she'd want to just use this one scope and have it, like, perfectly zeroed in at all times, and, you know, all kinds of fancy fucking PMC owner shit like that. You know, it's nice. It's a custom design. It looks like something that, you know, somebody like Callie would actually use. It's pretty nice. Although, of course, I can't give it too high of a rating just for being aesthetically nice. Some of the design cues are a little, I guess, questionable, but it's not as bad as some of the other designs in this game. Due to that alone, I am going to give it a... I'm gonna give it a low A tier right about here. You know what? No, I'm gonna give it top of B tier. It's gonna get top of B tier. Ah, fuck. Nah, I'm conflicted. Nah, I'm gonna keep it low A tier. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go low A tier. Alright, our next gun. Callie also has this one. Here is the CZ75 Auto. This one also suffers from the night sight syndrome that I mentioned at the start of this stream. It has really bad sights, obviously. This front sight is way too chonky. These rear sights are way too narrow, and you basically cannot see through them whatsoever while using this thing. It's a novel concept. It's a real thing. It has the ported compensated thing here, which would make this suppressor basically useless, but, you know, we're not going to worry about that. And that's also not how laser sights work. Yeah, I don't know about this one, honestly. I don't really feel like that much, like, I don't know. And then just, like, having this, like, hollowed out magazine here instead of just actually having another... CSGO did it so much better, where you actually utilize... You know what? No, this one's going, like... You know what? Fuck no. This one. No, this one's going in F tier. This one's going in F tier with the AA-12. Thankfully, however, our next gun is much better, and I like this one a lot more. I would bring mine out, but I have heard that Twitch does not like that sort of thing. So here is the Desert Eagle Mark 19. I do have one, and it is my child. I love it with all my heart. You know what? Actually, I will be right back in just a second. I am going to grab my emotional support deagle, just so that I can put these side by side and compare and contrast. Okay. Woo! Oh, shit. Alright. Whoa. Okay. Alright, so I've got my Desert Eagle, and I am putting it up to the screen right now. Okay. So on the whole, this is very accurate. There are a couple issues with it. Okay, so the main issues that I am noticing with this version of the Desert Eagle are all in the minute details. I suppose the most major glaring one for me is this section right here. This should be shortened to about here-ish, and this should just be a full railed bottom segment. If they were going to put a bottom rail here. There is also the matter of this magazine. This is a little chunkier at the bottom here, just a little bit. This little like top of the slide release latch here should be a little bit longer this way. Yeah, the proportions on it they're very slightly off. Also the notch here for the rear sight is much wider than an actual Desert Eagle's rear sight. On the whole, though, this is a pretty solid representation of a Desert Eagle. It's not perfect, so I can't give it an S tier. But I will nonetheless be giving it a quite high tier. I will say that this one, it's not as faithful as the Automag 44. I'm gonna say it is... I'm gonna say it's above... It's above the AK-12 because all of the parts are there. But I'm gonna say it's below the AUG Para just because of how much, just because of how good the AUG para is. Honestly, the AUG para is so good. I love the AUG para. Not really. I love the AUG para in this game. I don't like the AUG para that much as an actual gun. Anyways, our next gun. Next gun is Tachanka. His DP-27 or DP-28 or whatever the fuck they feel like calling it this time. The game says DP-27, so we're gonna go with that, I guess. So yeah, this optic, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't think it's a real optic, but the DP-27 is the only gun that can use it, so why not? Hold on. Okay, so I don't know what's up with the sling wrapped around the heat shield like that. But I do appreciate this other bit of sling wrapped around the bipod here, because in game Tachanka actually holds onto this, and I can actually see how this would help with stabilizing your grip with a gun like this. Tachanka is a big, burly Russian man. He is the closest to Rasputin that we will get in our modern day, I think. So yeah, I don't doubt that somebody like Tachanka could just kind of carry this thing around. Yeah, on the whole, it's, I mean, as far as I can tell, it is a pretty decent representation of a DP machine gun. The Degtarev. I don't know, I don't speak that much Russian. You know, you'd figured I would at this point. Fun fact, I took 3 years of Russian in high school and didn't retain any of it. Ah, pravidna. Okay, so, all things considered, pretty decent DP-27. It's basically just full auto dinner plate Mosin. I'm gonna put it above the bullpup, I guess. I don't like it as much as the CSRX, so it's gonna stay high B tier. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I'm gonna switch these two around. Okay. Next gun. Next gun is Sam Fisher's F2000. Okay. Okay, S3000K. Oh, jeez. Okay, here is the titular SC3000K. This is a F2000 that kind of let itself go. Okay, so where do I start with this thing? Oh my god, it's Alright, well, I mean, I guess it has the design, like, the details right, I guess, where all, like, the mechanical parts should be. But for some reason, it just has, like, this rounded, like, bulbous shell for some reason. I don't know why you do this to an F2000. The F2000's already kind of like weird and funky enough. But Yeah, this thing, I don't know. Apparently it fires 300 blackout according to this little marking on the side here. But does it even eject 300 blackout casings? Like in the... Hold on. Because I think I remember seeing this thing ejecting 556 cases. I think. Hold on, let me-
Finally. Some alone time.
Yeah, no, those are definitely 556 cases. Also, it has 25 rounds in a mag? Huh? I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that one. Alright, well... I am sorry, Sam. Your gun's pretty bad. Your gun's pretty cooked. I'ma put it between the 870 and the ARX. I'ma keep it real. I don't like what they did to this thing. Okay. Our next gun is Gridlock's F90. Okay, so the F90 is the Australian version of the AUG A3. It is a shortened version of the rifle. I don't like how this thing looks. I have not been able to shake the mental image of the fact that this thing looks like the gun equivalent of a potato for years. Yeah, and I don't think the charging handle is supposed to be flipped up there like that. I think it could be in that position if it was back here, but it's not. It uses the correct mags, I guess, but like, what the hell is with this here? Why is this so chonky? Why is it here? Like, the barrel is... like, I guess that makes sense because it's a bullpup, but still, it's just... I don't know, and like, I don't get what's with this, and like, why it's so angled like that, and this? I don't know what this is. I don't even know what you do with that. What, can you like open that up and like store gummy worms in there or something? Like... I don't know. I don't like the F90. I really don't like the F90. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This is going right with the S3000K. Yeah. Alright, our next gun is Buck's Hammer's rifle. As far as I'm aware, that is not an official designation of the FAL. This is the C1A1, which is the Canadian military's designation of the FAL. I mean, I'd say it's a pretty faithful representation of an FAL, I guess. I mean, it has the stripper clip port here. It, I don't know. I think you can get like a railed back cover here, I think, but I don't know about like this rail up front here. I don't know about that one. Charging handle looks good. All the parts look good. It even has the carry handle here, which is nice. It's got this like big thick boy fucking tanker brake on there, which is pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, it's a pretty decent FAL. The shotgun's pretty cool on it. I'm gonna rate this higher than the... You know what? I'm gonna put this above the AUG. We're gonna put this above the AUG A2. Our next gun is from Ella. That would be the Scorpion Evo 3. This is a quite good representation of the Scorpion 3A1 carbine. The stock is correct. It has a custom green trigger. I am going to assume that Ella put that on there, as well as this custom charging handle as well. I suppose you could do that, yes. Using an Osprey 9 suppressor would work on this. It is a 9mm. If I remember correctly, I think the magazine holds 40 rounds for some reason. It shouldn't do that, so I'm gonna have to dock points for that. But on the whole, this is a very, very good representation of this weapon. Honestly, I enjoy the little like custom touches that, you know, someone as eccentric as Ella would put on there. I fuck with this gun. This is pretty good. As far as the siege guns go, this is an A tier. I'm gonna put this above the AK-12. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna put this above the Deagle. Actually, fuck it. Yeah. We'll put it above the Deagle. Okay. Our next gun is from Capitao. And that would be his Para 308. This is a Val Para Shorty. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... So it is fairly faithful to the Val Para's general design. It does have the short barrel. This thing is, if you know about like fucking what was it, the HK91, I think. Oh no, it's the HK51. Okay, yes. Okay, so this thing is basically the FAL equivalent of the HK51. Short barrel 7.62 by 51, basically. As Ian McCollum put it, so faithfully and so aptly. This thing is a full auto flashbang dispenser. I mean, all things considered, it's, I mean, a fairly decent representation. I think this is a... I think very specifically, this one is one of the DSA repros. Me personally, I am not a big fan of DSA. I do not like their fouls that much. However, I must give credit where it is due. I am going to give this a B tier. I'm gonna put it below the cameras. Fuck, we gotta zoom out again. Fuck, we gotta zoom out again. God, this is gonna get out of hand real quick. Okay, here's our tier list now. Alright, next we have... Wait, there's a... Hold on. Is she stupid? Wait, why is that there? Hold on. Is there a FAL with that, without the shotgun? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, is she stupid? When did I... Where is this? Wait a minute. Oh. Oh, right. I don't have Brava. That's why I didn't know that this was fucking here. Okay. Yes. So this counts as a completely different gun, apparently. This one is going to go, I don't know, around the same spot, but below this one, because having an M26 mass on there is cool. Okay. Next gun is Twitch's FAMAS. Okay, so... The FAMAS F2, yeah, it sure is. It uses the FAMAS's custom magazines. This one has been sprayed with sand or mud for some reason on the dust cover here. I don't know what that's about. It does have... See, look, and they're capable of making realistic-looking Picatinny. Like, look at this. That's perfect. Fucking... God, why not just use that for everything? Whatever, yo. Okay, so... Yeah, so it's got the Picatinny rail on top of the carry handle, which, you know... Height over bore final boss here, but, actually, no, that's not height over bore final boss. We don't talk about the MDT Sky High amount. But, yeah, height over bore for this thing is quite severe. I don't know if I entirely trust having this laser sight mounted on the barrel like that. I think I just put that up here with the EOTech, but I don't know. You do you, boo-boo. I mean, all things considered, I would say this is a pretty good FAMAS. I am going to put it in B tier, above the FALs. Okay, so our next gun... our next gun is the 5.7 USG, the FN 5.7. Here is said FN 5.7. For some reason they decided to give this thing, like, I don't know, these, like, weird decals all over the gun. Like, it's got this little circle here, it's got these two little stripes, and then, like, some, like, caution tape on the back here. I don't know why there's the Roman numeral for 4 here. I don't see how that relates to this weapon at all. But on the whole, it is a good representation of a 5.7. I'm not seeing any glaring issues with it. The sights look correct. The front sight might be a little chonky on it. Just a little bit. But, on the whole, it's okay. It's nothing really that special. I am going to say that it is, I guess, like, between the FALs and the FAMAS. Alright, well, our next one is another interesting one. Our next gun is the FMG-9. This is... Well, it was originally an airsoft gun. It's basically just a foldable chassis for a Glock, I believe. you're supposed to be able to fold it up into a little briefcase-looking thing, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty funky. Although, huge missed opportunity with this weapon in this game. You'll probably remember it from... This gun was infamous in the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It feels very strange bringing that game up multiple times in one stream. But these things, akimbo, were an absolute menace. You may remember the iconic, like, akimbo, like, flip out fucking, like, equip animation for this thing. And it was super sick. It was super fucking cool. And they don't do that with this gun in this game. They just treat it like a normal SMG. You don't, like, putting it away or, you know, pulling it out for the first time. You don't, like, unfold it. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just a huge missed opportunity. Yeah, it was pretty novel for its time. There's an alternative version of this. There's a Russian variant of it called the PP90, which is basically the same thing. I think in the same caliber, actually, too. Yeah, they're just these, like, little foldable SMGs. Huge wasted potential in this game in terms of animation, because you don't fold it, as I said. It also has the weird, like, bigotiny fucking issue. I don't know what's up with that. It also, I don't know, it doesn't... No, that is definitely an absolutely cooked fucking Glock logo. Jesus. Alright, so it's using a weirdly, like, squished and... Why are they so Please, for the love of God, do not tell me that they just stretched a Glock 17 mag to fit into this thing. Alright, enough said. You know, it gets top of F tier. Just because of how big of a missed opportunity it was, and how much that magazine is offending my fucking brain. What is our next gun? It's the funny AR-1550! Oh boy! Featured on Tubarão and, Maverick. I like this gun a lot. It's silly. It has the funny fucking magwell grip. I love how when they first added this thing, they had it with like a surefire casket mag on there. This big, thick-ass magazine. Oh my god. The only thing that pisses me off about that is the fact that they proved that switching models for weapon magazines is possible. So why they did that with this gun and didn't do that with the AA-12, like I mentioned earlier, it just baffles me. Alright, so this has a somewhat extended Knight's Armament tube grip. It's weirdly kind of like... It shouldn't do that. This is supposed to be, like, relatively flush. Mounting of grips is also weird. I'm not entirely clear on what this stock is supposed to be. The forward assist also looks a little funky. It also has bigotiny syndrome. But yes, it is a 50 caliber AR-15, 50 Beowulf. It's very funny. I fuck with it. I like it, but the design isn't perfect. It's definitely not. I can't give it any higher than like a high A tier. I'm gonna put it just below the FAMAS. You know what? I'm gonna put it between the Parafoul and the Og. Just because of how kind of fucky the proportions are. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, our next one. I am a little less. I'm not too big a fan of this one, if I'm going to be honest. This one belongs to Thorn. The UZK50GI. Yeah, no, this thing doesn't exist, as far as I can tell. As we can see here, it's modeled quite well, actually. Yes, this is an Uzi-style SMG chambered in 50 GI, a 50 caliber pistol cartridge. Think of it kind of like I guess like a Diet 50 Action Express, I guess. Fuck. Yeah, it's a Diet 50AE, basically. This is a full auto fucking gun, I guess. It's like an Uzi in... It's like an alternate universe, like, space Uzi. It's weird. It's not an Uzi by any stretch of the imagination. By any, like, traditional means. Like, no Uzi has a handguard like this. No Uzi has this kind of stock. I think you might be able to get a custom, like... The only thing it really has that an Uzi is, like, it has the mag and the grip, and it has the correct trigger guard. And... yeah, that's fucking it. I don't know what's up with this gun. I don't know who designed it. I don't know what kind of crack they were smoking, but that's going with the ACS-12. Our next gun is the G36C. G36. Alright, G36. Here is the G36C. Oh. Alright. Alright, how much longer we got to go? Oh dear. God, it's getting really fucking late. Okay. This might have to be a two-part stream. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think this is gonna be my last one for tonight, guys. Okay. So here's the G36C. It has Bigottini syndrome again. This rail attaching this angled grip is pretty funky. It is not connected to anything back here as far as I can tell, I think. Huh. Yeah, it only goes to about here. The grip is mounted back. No, I guess that's fine. It's just kind of... I don't know, that Magpul AFG grip is mounted weird. In all respects, I would say that this G36C is pretty faithfully modeled. I don't think you're supposed to be able to take off the front and rear sight like that. I don't think. I think you just need to have a completely separate carry handle for that, which this might be, I guess, but it kind of looks like they just, yeah, it looks like they still have the slots for it there. But, yeah. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It is a G36. It is well modeled. I am honestly going to give this. I'm gonna give it bottom of A tier. I'm gonna give it bottom A tier. That seems pretty fair to me. All right. That said, some things have come up, and well, okay, things have come up, and also I am fucking EP. So I'm going to go address these things, and then I'm going to go eep. I will continue this stream tomorrow, so hopefully I will see you there. Until then, though, I'm gonna head out. I love you guys. See you soon.